Hello. You're so welcome to today's live show. I'm Sarah Leather from thesarahleather.com, and I am delighted to be sharing this topic with you. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart, as are most of the topics I speak to, which is why I choose them. It's so much easier to talk about things that we feel ourselves. So what this is called is one thing to do each day to skyrocket your visibility and therefore your success. Because the more you're seen, the more successful you're going to be. The two go together so closely. And, it's about this concept that we know we have to get out of our comfort zone to be more successful. Like, this concept is not new. We know that what we want is on the other side of our comfort zone. We're told this all the time, that we just have to stop being so comfy and put ourselves out there and feel a bit uncomfortable and stretch ourselves, and that's where we'll get success. But we can get really stuck on how to do this. And what I want to share with you is most women I work with are over 40, maybe stepping into perimenopause, in full-blown menopause, even postmenopausal, and they can be totally unaware why maybe they're not feeling as courageous as they used to. That maybe in the past they might have called it the benefits of youth, of not thinking quite so much about putting themselves out, maybe in a past career, of putting their hand up for a promotion or putting themselves out there to do a presentation or something that now they find really challenging. And they, you know, I feel the same way, is that, like, I didn't used to really struggle asking for a testimonial, putting my prices up, maybe even asking for press. Like, I was in my former business, I was on national television several times. And that's something that in the last few years, I've really struggled with holding my hand up for it and saying, like, yeah, I'll do that. Because most kinds of visibility doesn't come knocking at our door where someone said, would you like to do this? You have to hold your hand up in some way and say, I'll do this. When I did two TEDx talks a few years ago, and looking back now, I can really see that I was in full-blown perimenopause. But at the time, I didn't think so. And I think so many women in their 40s don't realize what an effect it's having on them. Once they're in their 50s, yes, they are like, yes, I can see what's happening now with my hormones. And in our 40s, we can get quite defensive about it. Like, don't call us midlife, don't call us hormonal or menopausal. It's, that's got nothing to do with it. And when you look back, you go like, yes, I can see what was going on. But at the time, no, don't want to know about it. And, in my sort of mid 40s, I did mid to late 40s, I suppose. I was so fortunate to hold my hand up for two TEDx talks, and I got chosen for both of them. Some people apply many, many, many times before being accepted. But I was very fortunate to be chosen for putting my hand up and saying, yep, I'll do that. Even with one of them, I had sent off a video that they'd asked for, and I didn't really like it. The deadline was Friday. I'd sent it off on Friday morning, and I really didn't like it. So over the weekend, I actually sent them another video and said, I know it's closed, but I'm just going to send you this one because I think it's way more in line with who I am and what I do. And it was amazing. When I got chosen, they said, yeah, that second video totally did it. And I didn't think twice about doing that at the time. Whereas now, I would just, it would probably be like, oh, it's not good enough. I can't possibly email them after the deadline. And I know that's the effect that, like, the hormones can have on us. And, far more concerned at this age and stage of life about what if I mess up? What if I fail? But the thing I want to share with you today is what can really help. And it's really helped me. It helps loads of my clients to get past it. And it is a way of purposely putting yourself in uncomfortable territory, but with a purpose, and a way that is manageable, and it is a way that you can absolutely do it every single day. And I call this to do your daily brave. of doing one thing each day that feels a little bit scary, where you have to ignite your courage muscle, that you have to maybe take a deep breath and just hit send on that email asking for something. Maybe it's asking for a testimonial. Maybe it's asking for someone like letting somebody know that you have an amazing free group. Would you like to hear more about it? Letting someone know that you have this incredible workshop coming up and it's going to really teach about this, this, and this. Would you like the link for it? All of those things can feel really scary, and we have to be a little bit brave to ask people, because we can't just sit and wait for people to come to us. That can take a very long time. It's way more effective if you can also get in front of people. And for some people, that will mean sending DMs to people, but not for everyone. Not everybody's going to use that strategy, and not everybody has to. And I don't recommend sending anybody DMs unless they have held their hand up in some way of wanting to connect with you, or said, yep, yes, on your event page, that they want to come to your workshop, some way that they have already said yes. And because I do believe in permission-based marketing, where you're not just sort of picking people randomly and sending them messages, I don't think that's very effective. It's going to be way more effective when somebody's already put their hand up and said, yeah, I'm interested in hearing more about this. So some kind of things you can do in your daily brave might be to send that DM, send 5 or 10 DMs a day, maybe 20 or 30, if that's part of your strategy for, say, inviting somebody to a workshop. It could be to reply to that email that's been sitting in your inbox. It's sitting there waiting for you to reply to it. And you're like, no, not doing it today. And it might be to reach out to that past client. And it might be to ask them for a testimonial. It might be to check in with them, see where they're at, see whether they need some more help. Maybe it's somebody that you had some kind of consult call with in the past and they said no, or said now wasn't the right time. Maybe you can check in on them, see where they're at. See where they're at with whatever you were speaking about in the past. Would they like to reconnect and see what's going on, see if you can help them? It's amazing how many clients you can get that way. It's absolutely amazing. People like to be noticed. People like to know that you're thinking about them. So it's just that it takes a bit of courage. So that could be your daily brave, is to each day to reconnect with somebody who has said no to you in the past, or maybe didn't get back to you in the past. Maybe somebody ignored you. I used to have so much energy around that. If I was fine if somebody got back to me and said no, of course fine when somebody gets back and says yes, please. But when somebody didn't reply to me, I really struggled with that for a long time. And until I realized I did some coaching around it with a coach, did some self-coaching around it, and realized it was just really triggering some old past rejection. It had nothing to do with that person. Absolutely nothing. It meant nothing. It is, as I'm always telling my clients, separate the facts from the drama or from the story you're making about it, and just stick to the facts. Haven't heard from somebody, fine. If they haven't told you to go away, you can totally contact them again. That could be your daily brave. It could be to contact a journalist. Maybe you've seen a story written about the topic that you specialize in and you have an opinion on it. Maybe you're yelling at the radio or yelling at a newspaper saying, like, I can't believe somebody said that. Contact them and say, amazing article. However, I've got a lot to say about this. Would you like to hear? And they're always looking for content, but it needs to be, it needs to be something they're looking for. If a topic is a hot topic or someone's speaking about it, tell them. Tell them you have an opinion about it. Would they like you to write an article about it? Would they like to speak to you? Would they like your top 10 tips around it? You'll be surprised how often they come back and go, yeah, that'd be great. I did it. I dared myself to be brave one year before we were just closing down. It was the Friday before Christmas, and I was doing a live event in January. And it was called the Reinvention Retreat. It was about what to do when you finally grow up. And I thought, oh, I haven't got that many people signed up. Could really do with some press in January for this because local events, local press can work really well. And so I just thought, oh, I can take a deep breath. I could have listened to the voices in my head that said, like, they'll be closed up for Christmas already. They'll be off doing their Christmas shopping. They won't want to hear from me today. They want a clear inbox. They don't want anybody cluttering up their inbox. These are the thoughts I was having. But as I was having these thoughts, I was typing out an email, and I just put in the subject line, writing about reinvention for the new year. And I just said that, look, you probably hear every year, you probably get the same old New Year's, new resolutions kind of things. I've got a different opinion on it. It's what I call the process of reinvention. It was something like that. And I'd love to write something about it for you. Would you like me to do that? I've got some time between Christmas and New Year. I could work on it. And I sent it to 3 different journalists and 3 different publications, and 2 of them came back within an hour and said, that would be great. Can I have it by the 28th or the 29th or the 30th? I can't remember what the dates were. Can I have a high resolution headshot? And I want 800 words, I want 850 words, I want 740 words, or whatever. They told me exactly how many words they wanted. The other one I didn't hear back from them, but I heard back middle of January and wanted an article for February, which was after the date of my 2-day live retreat that I was running, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I still got more press there. And if I hadn't done that brave move of just being a little bit bold and bolshy and just go like, I'm going to hit send, you have nothing to lose, nothing to lose. So, I just want to share a few ideas here with you. I'd love to hear what yours could be. So it could be to write a brave post. Write a brave post about what you think. I did this a couple of weeks ago and put it out for it was a podcast. I think it was my 39th episode it was, and I was talking about money, menopause, and the one-to-many method. And I told this story about how I was sort of paralyzed with lack of confidence a couple of years ago, and really, really, really frozen and not able to do so many things, and what transpired from that, what went on to. And a couple of days ago, that post was shared by Denise Duffield Thomas on her business page. She shared on a business page with 77,000 followers. She shared the post and a link to the podcast. And if I hadn't written that post, if I hadn't really been very vulnerable and written that post, because I knew other people hadn't heard it, there were so many women reading that and saying like, oh, I just didn't realize what was going on. Oh, I thought it was just purely like menopause was a health thing. Business was over here. I didn't realize one could affect the other. Thank you. And then one person after another said, thank you so much for sharing this. Resonates so much with me. And what I realized from seeing that was like, the more that I stay in procrastination and confusion about, am I going to upset somebody by saying the word menopause, or am I going to upset somebody by saying the word midlife when they're only in their 40s and they don't consider themselves midlife until they're at least in their 50s, if not in their 60s, even though the research says it's 40 to 65 is midlife. But anyway, we won't go into that today. I certainly didn't consider myself midlife in my 40s, so I totally get it. And the more that I stay in this confusion about what words to use and what's going to resonate and what's my real message, the less people are going to see it. And by me being brave and courageous and I'm just going to write that post. I'm going to write that post about how I was feeling and what's helped me, and open the conversation for women to talk about money and menopause and midlife, and take the subjects that aren't necessarily particularly popular. I mean, even just money, like who else was brought up with it's rude to talk about money? I was constantly constantly told it's rude to talk about money. I no longer believe that, because the thoughts and things we hear over and over again can become our belief systems. Belief systems BS, completely BS most of the time. And what is better instead? What's better is to find what is the truth. Like, I really believe about that, that it's not rude to talk about money. And I believe as women, it's essential we talk about money. The more we normalize money conversations and normalize the conversation about women over 40 and perimenopause, menopause and beyond, in midlife, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely essential to talk about, because we can think there's something wrong. We can think our business is broken, or that we're just not very good anymore, we lost it or something. But really, it's just a bit of a phase we're going through, like memory problems and so many things are just a phase. And it's there as an essential part of us letting go of that sort of nurturing, caring side that helped us for those of us that had young children, so that we focus on them and don't neglect them. And but now, once we get well into our 40s and our 50s, 60s, it's a time for us. It's a time for us to really explore and work out, what do we want? What do we want to do with this amazing life that we have? And that, I mean, we could well and truly live another 30 or 40 or maybe even 50 years. And it's not a time, as far as I'm concerned, for retiring and being small. It's a time for playing bigger, and time for expansion and growth in your bank account and wherever you want it. And for that, we need to ask for more. We need to be courageous. We need to really work on our BS beliefs and work out what is actually the truth. What is the truth? What are the beliefs that we um, what are the beliefs that we want to believe are true moving forward? What is it that we actually want to believe in? And things like, for me, just changing from that it's rude to talk about money to it's essential to talk about money. It's fun to talk about money. Making money is fun. Money is amazing. And for me, on my journey, and this is something I'll be speaking about a whole lot more, on my journey towards seven figures, isn't about the money. Well, it is about the money in that money gives you a lot more choices. Money means that the more money I make, the more money I can pay my team, the more money I can contribute, the more money I can help my family. But it's more so who I'm becoming along the way. And that is all about how uncomfortable am I willing to get to where I want to go, so I can grow and expand in my mindset and in my business, so I can continue to grow my business. And it is so important to purposely put ourselves in that discomfort to do that. And that's why what I call the daily brave can be such a safe way of doing it, a really amazing way of each day. Okay, what's my daily brave? It's one of what I call my flourish and seven daily habits that I'm developing. And it's really is this putting yourself slightly outside your comfort zone and getting your brave on for just a couple of minutes, a few minutes maybe, to write a post or to send an email or to message someone. It is all part of it. That's why I love having communities and groups where women can share. Like, my daily brave today is, we were talking about this in my signature program this morning. We were talking about, what your daily brave can be each day this week, and what are you going to do to do it. And it was amazing what they were all coming up with. So and it might be, as I said, like asking for that testimonial. It might be, and you might say, like, would you like me to write it for you, and you can run it past I'll run it past you then. Because the reason why most people don't write testimonials for you isn't because they didn't like your work. It's because they're afraid they're not going to say the right thing. They're not quite sure what to say. Offer to write it for them. Have a template and give it to them, and they'll probably very happily write your testimonial. Ask them, would they be willing to hop on Zoom with you and do a quick little answer a few questions and to be used as a testimonial. And very often they're really happy to do that as well. So you just have to ask your daily brave, what can you do? So it's it might be putting a price up and going and making an offer to somebody. Say like, hey, you said to circle back to you when you had more time. Just wondering if now's a good time to discuss about how I can help you and offer your new price. Yeah, that's a cool daily brave, I think. Um, it might be someone might have asked you if you'd like to do a speaking gig for them, or you might have applied for one and then said, yeah, let us know your rates. And your daily break might be, actually, I'm putting my rates up. I'm not going to charge this pittance amount anymore for this work. Maybe I'm going to charge as much as if I was traveling somewhere and presenting in person. I'm going to charge for an online presentation. Lots of my clients have done that lately, or all the way over through the pandemic. And it's amazing. They are so surprised that they are getting paid as much, if not more, from doing things virtually, doing their workshops virtually, than doing them in person. And when they did them in person, maybe a 2-hour workshop, they were driving 3 hours there and 3 hours back, or maybe staying somewhere overnight and barely getting paid for the actual expenses, let alone all of their time. And they are blown away. And now they're able to do maybe 2 or 3 events in a day, and they're getting paid 3-4 times as much now as what they were before. It's amazing what happens when you ask. So are you ready to get your brave on? What's your daily brave going to be? I'd love to hear from you and know what your daily brave is going to be. And tell us. It's really great to tell us, tell someone, let someone know what your daily brave is going to be. So announce it, declare it, and it's done. The universe is listening. It will really help you to create, to manifest the income you desire, the clients you desire. It's all there for you. You just need to ask. And it's the reason why in traditional jobs that women don't get paid as much as men, because in the vast majority of times they don't ask for as much. They ask for less. They make do with less. Same with bank loans for business. Same with everything they ask. They make do with less. Enough of that. Enough of doing with less time. Go ask for more. Go ask for what you want. Get your daily brave on. I can't wait to hear how you get on with it. Very excited for you. So fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, tell me, what's your daily brave going to be? Bye for now.